Hi, everybody. It's Kanesha from boldlivingtoday.com. Hey, everybody on Instagram, and hey, everybody on Facebook Live. So thank you for your patience, as it took me a little bit to get online. Our Wi-Fi, our internet has been a little bit iffy, and I'm not sure if it's specifically due to the fires that are going on, but we've been having these rolling power outages, and it hasn't directly affected me where I'm living or people where I live, but I just know there's a lot of different things that are happening, out there. So sorry for the delay, but I am here, and I've had a super fun morning, had my regular walk, and then I had a brainstorming session with my mastermind group. I have a little pilot group. Well, I shouldn't say little, but it's a smaller group. It's 6 women and myself, and it's a pilot program I'm running now. And I'm going to have a robust full throttle program in 2020. But of course, I wanted to make sure the information I put together was great and it supported people before I roll it all the way out. So we had a really good rocking sessions, a little bit of tears, but a lot of productivity and action items and creativity. So I'm really pumped up. So Wednesday Club, welcome back to the people who have been attending. I love having you here, and welcome to the new people. And Wednesday Club is all about creativity, learning from and successfully navigating life transitions, untangling from things that keep you small or stuck or playing small, and then building and amplifying your boldness. So that's what club stands for. So last week, in episode 8, looking at my notes here, we were talking about, I had my meetup with a group of women who had participated in my vision board party in January of 2019. And we were talking about sharing how much we've done, what we're most proud of, where we need additional help, and seeds we want to plant for 2020 so that we can have things be bolder, amplify that, use our creativity, make sure we are taking care of our wellness, and really having the work-life harmony we desire. So that was really great. And we also talked about, how to luxuriate in our success and feel really proud of ourselves, even if we are our only cheerleaders, if we don't have everyone else cheering us on, how to celebrate ourselves and feel happy and whole and bold through all of that. So with October winding up, I have a mini video that I'll share with people on October 31st around wrapping up the month, and it comes directly from the vision board meetup in the Thrive 75 program. So that'll be a little fun video, and it's shorter than the Wednesday Club, so you can just get a bite-sized piece of boldness to help you wrap up October and prepare for November and the rest of the calendar year. So this week, the topic, I hadn't initially planned for this to be such a robust topic, but I wrote a blog post a few weeks ago and sent it out in my newsletter. And that blog post was specifically about what to do when other people waste your time and how to stop them from wasting your time. And I had shared some challenges and struggles I had with people wasting my time and not really respecting the process. Sorry, I got to adjust something here. There we go. Not respecting the process and some challenges I had. And then I shared some, of course, with anonymous permission from the client, some challenges they had. And I just wrote them in one list. So I had a lot of feedback, and people were like, oh my gosh, people, are messing up with your time like that and doing those things to you. And I had to write back and say, I just listed all those things in one list, but all of those things did not happen to me. But, some of them really did. And just to showcase that, we all have these different challenges that pop up around time, other people wasting our time and us wasting our own time. And, I just like to let people know they're not alone in these things. And in that newsletter, I offered 3 concrete tips to help people stop allowing others, inviting others to waste their time. So I'll have a link to that blog post in the video notes so that you can check that out. But today I wanted to talk about how to stop wasting your own time and don't let other people waste your time, And I had a lot of questions and comments that came from the blog post. So what I've done is kind of compiled the top questions that seem to have a recurring theme. And then I'm just going to outline some answers, possible solutions, or tips and tools that you can use if you are experiencing this. So I have 14 things on this list, and a lot of them are interconnected. So, you know, when I talk to them, you're like, oh, I'll see how that flows. But yeah, let's just get into it and talk about how to stop wasting your own time and how to keep others from wasting your time too. So the first thing was, somebody says, you know, I constantly make these long task lists, these to-do lists, but then I never look at them when it's time to do the work. I just start working without any direction, without any planning, without any vision. And so as I've talked about with the purposeful productivity resources and the focus protocol, you know, a lot of times us writing a to-do list in a long list, that's too much, is too overwhelming. And the reason these people probably are not looking at their to-do lists, because the reason they're probably not looking at them is because it's probably too scary. Like, who wants to look at a long list that's never ending and you think you won't get everything done? So as I've suggested before, and you can find this information in the Purposeful Productivity resources, is to categorize your to-do list, maybe doing it in boxes or in different sections. Use different geometric shapes. If you like circles, then categorize things in circles and put the information in it with a title on the top, and then tackle the to-do list that way. And look at it. And maybe you look at it when you first start working, you know, work for a little bit, take a break, and then come back to it, adjust the to-do list, and keep working. So don't make it in a long list if you're not going to look at it. The other thing is wasting time doing other people's work. Ooh. So one thing I always tell people, especially if you're working on a team or with other people, is that, you know, prioritize what you have to do first, your must-dos. And we talked about the Eisenhower Matrix, you know, with the urgent and the important, not important, and things like that. You know, do your work first. Do your top 2, top 1, top 3. You know, I always like to work in threes. Priorities first, and then let people know when you have other time to collaborate with them or work with them or help them finish something they're doing. But yeah, protect your time that way. Don't waste your time by doing other people's work, and then they're getting all their stuff done and you're wondering why you're still stuck and behind on things. So Eisenhower Matrix is a really good tool for that. 3, what should I do when I'm hanging out with people that bring me down and I have bad mojo, bad energy after I'm with them? There's some YouTube video out there my friend had sent to me, and I wish I would have written this down, but I'll try to find it. But it was talking about energy vampires, people who just come in and suck out all the energy and leave you with none. So you have to stop hanging out with those people, especially if you hang out with them before you need to be motivated to get something done, or you have to schedule time to get something done. Like, stop hanging out with them. Just let that go. You know, you can't be with toxic people. You can't be with people who suck the energy out of you and leave you feeling negative. So that solution, just stop hanging with them. Procrastinating. Okay, Kanesha, you've talked about productive procrastinating and I still can't get out of my way. What should I do? Well, you know that procrastinating and productive procrastinating sometimes is linked to how we feel about the task at hand and how confident we're feeling. A lot of times when we're hesitating and we're having inaction is because we feel like we might not be good enough, we might not know what we're doing, we're afraid of failure, we're afraid of feedback and all those things. And that's all that self-rejection stuff that comes up for us. And I always tell people, you know, set that timer for 10 to 45 minutes and just work with your head down for 10 to 45 minutes. Don't worry about the quality of the work at that time. Just work on working. Get something done. Set that timer for 10 to 45 minutes. And when you're done with the 10 to 45 minutes, look and see what you have, see what's salvageable, see what can go on to the team, what can go on to your assistant, and then try again. You know, procrastination can be very crippling. I totally understand that. Like I mentioned before, my productive procrastination trigger is when I have to send out pitches and proposals. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling like I really want this, but I don't know if they're going to want me. And so I do laundry, or I'll load the dishwasher, or do some, you know, clean a closet or something like that. So I recognize my triggers around that. So I definitely use my own model of starting to work for 45 minutes uninterrupted. Then I take my hula hoop break, and then, you know, I see what else I need to get done. And, you know, the laundry and stuff eventually gets done, right? But my proposal and pitches, they typically have deadlines. So I need to focus on that and not waste my time. All right. Indecision. I am the queen of being indecisive. It just seems like there are too many good options out there. So in this case, I've talked about this during my presentation for the focus protocol. It's super important to know your productivity profile. If you're a dreamer, if you're a developer, if you're a drifter, if you are a driver. I'm a driver here. So my challenge is I can get stuff done, but sometimes I don't feel over motivated. And that's when my productive procrastination kicks in. So because I know that about myself, I have to have these structures around me. Um, Indecisive people doesn't mean that they are not dedicated. It doesn't mean that they don't have great ideas. It's just they have so many ideas. And typically the productivity profile for an indecisive person, maybe somebody who is a dreamer or a drifter. So many shiny things can be distracting. They're so interested in so many different things. Different ideas pop up all the time. They're just so excited about, picking other people's brains and getting into it. And so, if you know that is your case, you need to have maybe a 1 to 3 question system to get you going. How urgent is this? Do I need help in getting started? Do I need supervision? And supervision meaning an accountability person to check in with you with your timing and indecision and getting things done. So, indecision is not, being indecisive is not bad. You just need to know how to work with that within your productivity and not wasting your time or wasting other people's time. And what I mentioned also in the blog post too about if you're working with somebody who's indecisive, give them a concrete deadline and have one check-in, not numerous check-ins, and let them know that they will have one check-in so they can anticipate that and get on with it. So you can check that out, like I said, on the blog. People making empty promises. This woman has been wanting to meet with me, but she continually changes the date and the time, and it doesn't seem like she's in control of her schedule. It's wasting my time. This is real. It happens. Some people are not really great planners and schedulers. It's often not about you. It's about that person and how they're managing their time and managing themselves. So what you can do is stop feeling like they're taking advantage of you or wasting your time. Stop letting them do that. You decide the date and time. And if they cancel, then you've picked the time that works best for you, and then you can do something else. And if they want to reschedule with you, you just give them the time of day, and maybe after 2 times, 3 times, whatever your boundaries dictate. For me, it's typically 2. I would say, it seems like this is not the right time, not the right season, not the right week, month, whatever the case may be. And so why don't you get back to me when you actually have the space and time to meet with me, to talk with me, to go on a walk and talk, to have this lunch, whatever the case may be. So if someone is wasting your time with empty promises, please know that they might be indecisive, having challenges making decisions, bad scheduler. That's about them. That's about their productivity challenges. And you just need to put the proper parameters and boundaries around yourself to make this work. Okay, I have dropped my notes. 1 second. Okay. The next thing, waiting for something to happen. I've been putting myself out there and nothing's happening. Nobody's coming to me. I'm writing blog posts. I'm doing videos. I'm exhausted. Okay. First of all, let's not waste our time doing things that underserve us. If people are really into your blog posts, then write a lot of blog posts. Show up there. If your people are really on social media, live videos, show up there. If your people are really in-person people at networking events and things like that, show up there. But you really need to slow down and collect some data so you're not wasting your time spinning your wheels on things that are just not serving you. For me personally, when I first started my business, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to be everywhere. I was trying to make everything original and brand new, which was exhausting. I almost burned myself out. And, I talk about that in my, profitable and lasting client connections, electronic book. I talk about I just try to do everything and be everywhere. And I quickly realized that was just crazy time. That was not being bold. That was, just making me crazy. So, figure out where you enjoy being and how you connect the easiest with people and spend more time in that area. In my business, I found that I love writing, but people interact with me better and more often through video interactions, or face-to-face things. And I can't be face-to-face everywhere. So I knew with my my theme for this year, for 2019, was to boost. I need to be doing more videos. And it's not that I hate videos, but I do like to be in the presence of other people, and I like to be sitting behind my computer and writing. But that is not where everybody is going to be able to connect with me. So I have to be strategic and smart about these different things. So, this has freed up my time. I could be writing a blog post about all these things, but it's easier to talk to you all and answer your questions that you've sent in about different things. So don't wait for things to happen. Get out and make that stuff happen. Ask for some help. Ask somebody who's doing something that's similar to what you want to be doing, for informational meetup or FaceTime, Zoom session or something like that, 10 to 20 minutes, and ask them how they're doing it and get some help and tools. You don't have to figure it out all by yourself. That's crazy time. Don't do that. Attending unnecessary meetings. All the time I have to go to these meetings, which could have been an email. I know everybody has seen that meme out there, like meetings that could have, if a meeting doesn't have food, then it could have been an email. Have you seen that meme? I think that's hilarious. And then there were some other things around, disorganized meetings, bad agendas, and things like that. Okay. So meetings are a necessary evil in certain organizations, even in volunteer groups. Like, I just got off of a big volunteer thing that I've done for numerous years. And, we used to have these meetings. Some of them were in person, some of them were over conference calls, and they would just make me so crazy because it would just be this ramble fest, everybody sharing whatever they wanted and not really getting anything done, or checking on the action items from the previous meeting. So, since I saw that it was a challenge, I asked if we could have, rotating people on the group organize the agenda, so that people would understand the importance of time, the importance of staying on track, and the importance of not wasting their own time and the time of other people. And then for the agenda item, since I asked to do it, I kind of set the tone in making this template where you would list how much time you were going to spend on each of those agenda items, so people could prepare ahead of time and then get going. There's nothing worse being in a long meeting that's going nowhere, that's just not productive. And then if you're somebody who has to go to a lot of face-to-face meetings and things are not moving along, you might see if you can opt out or have a proxy go to those meetings and get the notes or something like that. But, sitting there looking grumpy and rolling your eyes at the presenters or the speakers or whatever is not going to be really productive or helpful for your evaluation. So don't do that. All right. So the next 3 items, they were separate categories, but they all deal with email. So these are items 9, 10, and 11. One was like, Kanesha, I'm curious to hear more about your 45-minute email checking process. I'm checking email all times of the day. I'm checking email before I go to bed. I'm checking email right before I get up. I'm always getting email notifications. These pop-ups are driving me crazy. These notifications are driving me crazy. I hate long email threads where information is being discussed and no decisions are being made. It drives me crazy. I get lost in the threads. Ooh, email. Okay, so I've talked about my email. Like, I don't like to check email all day and things like that. Sometimes I'm on a particular project and I'm checking for certain emails. So as an example, I'm working with my fantastic graphic designer, and she's putting together my this holiday resource guide that I've curated. And so we are on deadline and timing. So I have starred her particular email. So if it pops up on my phone, I have, you can go into the notifications and say which people you want to get their notifications from mail. So I'm using all those settings. So anytime her stuff comes up, I see it instantly, and I know I want to respond to that because that is very time specific. We're working on this project. We have the set deadline. So that's super important to me. 45 minutes checking email. I check email typically once a day. Sometimes if it's busy season for me, I might be checking it twice a day, and usually like January is the start of busy season for me. So I might be checking it more often because, I'm securing contracts and things like that. But in the morning, so anytime before noon, I'm checking email for 45 minutes, setting the timer just on email, responding, organizing, delegating the email. And then I'm done with email for that time being. And I might come back to it later in the day, or I might review some different things. If you use Gmail, I love it now that you can schedule certain emails to go out. So that helps me keep organized. I say if you are trying to have a really structured and strong work session, turn off all those notifications and those pop-ups for email. Do not have that distracting you. Be in control. Have the power to, turn that email off. As far as the back-to-back and the things like that, sometimes you need to call people. People these days hate talking on the phone, but having a long email thread where important details can get lost, it's just not a good idea. If you're trying to find a date for something, I love to use Doodle poll for that, or also use Google Forms for that, so people can fill in that information and it can populate a spreadsheet, and then all the information is there. So I don't like all those back and forth emails too. And sometimes I'll tell people if we get beyond 3 email exchanges, then that means that we need to have a phone call about this topic, about this event, about these plans. And I say that up front so that people can anticipate it. Now, the challenge with that is some people will think, oh, I don't want to get on the phone, or I don't want to have a conference call or video conferencing or something like that. So I'm going to put everything in one long email. And that's not good. I mean, a lot of times people don't want to read an email beyond 200 words. I mean, that's what research says. So, sometimes you have to create email templates around different topics that people are filling in. Like, this is the format that we're going to use to correspond about this. Bullet points, short sentences and things like that. And what was the other thing? The ping pong. And the other thing too is some people write their emails as a stream of conscious, like they're writing it exactly how things play out in their heads, and then you're trying to read it and translate it. If you know you're exchanging emails with somebody like that, then don't even start the conversation via email. Just turn it into a face-to-face or over the phone or video conference meeting. Know their productivity profile and anticipate how to work best with them. And let's see. I think I hit all the things about the email. Okay. Surfing the web endlessly. I need supervision. I need help. I just get on there and then hours have passed. It happens to the best of us. I mean, I love to read articles. I love to write or watch animal videos and look at ridiculously expensive shoes on the internet. So I set timers for myself because I want to do things, but I know I need supervision, but I'm in my office by myself, working by myself, or whatever the case may be. So set a timer to get yourself back on track. Give yourself the pleasure if it's something that fills you up and gives you joy and makes you excited to surf the web. If it's causing FOMO, fear of missing out or something like that, then you might need to put additional support structures around that. But if it's something that fills you up and inspires you or something like that, then give yourself a structured amount of time to surf the web so that you don't lose hours and days and things like that. Number 13 is I write down all these different things. I put them on sticky notes and I lose the sticky notes and stuff is everywhere. I don't even know how to begin to organize. Okay, I'm a huge person on having a paper planner and not just having an electronic planner, so that you will have a space to jot down these ideas, especially if it's going to be your $1 million idea that's going to take you to the next level, but all of a sudden, it slips your mind and you cannot get it back. I encourage you to have a journal or a planner for things like that. Sticky notes are challenging in the sense of if you're going to be transporting them in different places, but if you can keep them tidy in a book, they might be a little bit more safe as far as not getting lost or being spread all over the place. I love to use the notes feature on my phone. You can speak into that feature sometimes. If I'm in the car waiting for my son, or I'm at a light and I have this great idea, I can just, with the Bluetooth, hands-free, do a note and, voice to note and capture that idea. The notes feature, at least on the iPhone, I don't know about the other types of phones, but you can scan things in there. so that you can have the information. I scan all my coupons I get from Bed Bath & Beyond into my notes section. So I always have them, even though it's a little off topic, but that's capturing the idea of when I go shop, I'm going to have these coupons. But yeah, think about where you want to keep your ideas. But I always say get a notebook or a planner so you don't lose them and they're all in one spot. You can categorize them by theme, by month, by week, in something that's more calendar based, and also put your sticky notes in there. You know, take pictures of the different things. You might want to have a folder within your photos with some of those ideas if you're still writing them on sticky notes. So that could be your backup to potentially losing it. So yeah, capture those ideas though. You need a place for them to go. I am constantly, and this is the 14th item, I constantly have piles all the time, and I am losing time by figuring out which pile my stuff is in. Send help. Yeah, you know, I have piles of books by my bed, but I don't like piles. You know, they make me nervous, and not because I'm like a complete neat freak, but you know, I work from home and, you know, I'm very family friendly, and sometimes my family comes into my space and they move things around, even though I'll say, don't touch that. And so I've learned that piles are just not a safe bet. I love scanning things. I love putting things in pretty folders. I have some folders that are like this week, this month, this quarter, so that I don't have to file it so extensively, but I know if I'm looking for something, it's specific for this week or this month, this quarter, this first half of the year. Right now I'm running, you know, I have a folder. I'm getting information in about potential events for 2020, but we're still discussing them, and we have pending calls. So I have a folder that I just added that says pending 2020. So I might be dealing with it this week, but I don't know when that person's going to have time to talk to me. So it's pending and dealing with that. So I like to use that for any paper correspondence, or sometimes I make these outlines about different things I want to talk to about the person, and I'll put it in that folder. Because if we are having a video conference, I want to have that sheet there so I can reference it and things like that, because I won't be actually using my computer at the time with a split screen or something like that. So that's how I organize the piles. But I would say is, you know, have a scanning party, you know, have somebody come over who likes to organize things, and you guys can scan it so you can get the piles more electronic so that you can access that information when needed. Get some pretty folders. People like looking at pretty things, so make your organization pretty. Don't have too many folders so that it gets overwhelming. Maybe start with 3, see how your piles organize then, and then maybe expand from there. But yeah, tackle those piles. But because if you spend so much time looking for stuff instead of doing the things you're trying to do, that's a huge time suck and waste of time. So I can see how that would be frustrating. So that was the list of 14. I'm going to take this information and put it into another blog post. So I will, when that's up, I'll update the video notes just so that you can see the list. But yeah, thanks for sending in these great questions and dilemmas so I can help you think of ways to work through it and get bolder in your productivity. So next week, on episode 10, I'm going to give you all a little preview about the holiday resource guide. I'm super excited, and that's going to be ready for everybody in early November. A lot of tips, tools, resources, different ways you can support other women in businesses, and you know, just really get yourself into the front row mindset for the holiday season so that you're enjoying life and not upset about things or feeling burned out or overtaxed. There's even a in the holiday resource guide, there's even a holiday burnout quiz that you can take. Okay, so that'll be next week. Oh, and then I'm going to talk about how to be more unapologetic. That's been the theme of this particular week. So I'm compiling the questions and responses to that. And so next week is episode 10. And then the week after that, episode 11, I'm going to start part 1 of doing your calendar review and audit for 2019. So we won't be actually doing it, but I'll be talking about the initial steps to get you started. So you'll be able to have some time to do that between November and December and celebrate yourself. So thanks for joining me today. The videos are always accessible. The Wednesday Club videos are always accessible on Facebook. Kanesha Baynard Coaching, and also on my YouTube channel. And then on Instagram, the Wednesday clubs are available for 24 hours. So if you miss it on Instagram, just come on over to Facebook or go to my YouTube and you can see all the episodes. So thanks, everybody. Have a great Wednesday. And if you're having a snow day, stay warm and cozy. If you are experiencing challenges with those fires, please stay safe and listen to the rescue teams and, take good care of yourself, everybody. Okay, bye.